Crystal, have you ever wished upon a star?
Of course, daily, daily. When is my
And
king gonna come find me? It hasn't happened yet. Look,
no,
I even wear this. I wear for people watching. I have a crown on too. I wear
I
a
think the
crown every
people
day. It's like
watching,
my wish is gonna come true because they're gonna see that I'm wearing a crown, and it should be a wish. What is it called? An antenna. This is my wish antenna.
when just blasting
Makes
out to all your
perfect
fans
sense.
across the
Yeah,
world.
this is my antenna.
Well, on today's show, how about packing up the family and about 10 bags of money to go see a mouse
Oh.
in Florida? Maybe you can wish upon some money. If you're headed to Walt Disney World, the key isn't just saving money. That's difficult. It's how to make the money you spend turn into memories that equal the cost. And we have the guest today. Crystal is going to do just that for us.
Oh, awesome. I want to hear more about this bag of money. I know people spend the bag of money, but I want to wish, I'm going to add that to my wish too. Bag of money just drop from the sky.
Wait a minute, a bag of money and the prince.
Got it. Yes, yes. Perfect, perfect. Because I want the money to come with me, not the prince. And at the end of this episode and every episode, you'll hear our gear of the day pick. So if you're looking for best in class gear that's worth the price, head to our Amazon page at stackingadventures.com/GOTD. You'll help the show and you'll help yourself adventure better and for less money. Let's get this show on the road.
Ready for adventure? From vacation to staycation, and from the mountains to the beach. This is the Stacking Adventures podcast.
Welcome back to the Stacking Adventures podcast. Every adventure has a story, and we're here to hear them. Every week, we dive into your stories of adventure. And today, Crystal, we've got a very special adventure, a guy that actually makes a bunch of content about, I don't like the word content, but he teaches a lot of people how to adventure better with their family. How about that?
Yeah, or a live action follow along. I like that.
Yes, that's even
That's a good
better.
one, Joe. That's a good way to say it.
The man from Family Money Adventures, Kevin Payne, joins us. How are you, Kev?
Ooh.
Hey, I'm doing good. Excited to be here. Where's these
You
bags of money
are-
that I've been hearing about?
Well, listen, you've got a family and you try taking them to Disney. I mean, you and I are similarly follically challenged. I feel like the mouse not only took our money, he took our hair, Kevin.
That is true. The number one tip: bring some sunscreen and put it right up there.
A hat.
All right.
Absolutely. How many times have you been to Walt Disney World with a family?
It's not as many as you might think. Probably it's still a lot, but probably 10 times or so.
Yeah.
With our
Wow.
kids. Now our kids we got 4 of them, my wife and I, and they are, one in high school, 3 in college. So we've been going for quite a while. It's awesome. We love it.
Taking a family of 6, though, to Walt Disney World, you've seen the price increases year after year, Kevin. This is not a cheap adventure. Like you really need to do some planning before you go if you're going to make it worth the money, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not one of those, Disney's not one of those ones where you can just kind of show up and, relax. I mean, there are certain aspects of it that are relaxing. It's definitely an entertaining vacation, but it is one that if you want to get your value for what you pay for it, you really need to do some advanced planning, and really just think about what you want to get out of that trip,
I do feel bad when you see these families. I remember back in the days, we'll talk about the way to get on rides early, what that might cost, how to get, skip the lines. But I remember they used to have this system, and so do you, Kevin, and Crystal, you may too, this system that was you haven't been in a while,
Right.
Crystal.
I've not been.
You've
When we
never
went
been.
no, I've never
That's
been
right.
inside the pearly
What?
Disney gates. See, so you've been infinite more times than I have.
We got it.
Even if you're
Okay, next time we're at a conference in Orlando, you and I are going to Disney World together.
Okay.
Like we are totally going to Disney World. But Kevin, you remember they used to have this system called Fast Pass. and
Yes.
it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This is a free system. It costs no money. And we're standing behind these people who seem like very nice people. They're there with their 2 young sons. It's like 2 in the afternoon though. Everybody seems miserable. And the woman turns to me and she goes, "What are those things that I keep seeing people with these ticket things?" Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, all you got to do is get online for 30 seconds and you would have had a much better vacation. But let's talk about this. To start here, let's start with the foundation, Kevin. If we're planning anything about going to see the mouse in Florida, where do we begin? Like, where's this bedrock planning? Where should we start?
Well, that's funny. The funny story that you brought up, because I can remember even growing up, like seeing families walk in and, the dad pulls out one of those, like, the paper maps that they have of the park and like, hey, where should we go first? Like you cannot do that. You will get run over, right at the gate. But you know, for me, I think it starts with, one, with the Disney World website. It's just kind of a huge hub that basically shares information on anything you possibly want to do. That's obviously where you will, book hotels, get your tickets, things like that. But also there's a lot of help sections. There's, guest support on there, things like that. But besides that though, I kind of always start with our own family. Like, what do we actually want to do now? Like if you're, this is maybe your first time, like Crystal, maybe this is your first time going and you're like, well, I don't even know what there is. Then maybe, do a little digging around on the Walt Disney World website. But if you've been there before, you kind of have a feel for how it goes, really it's like for us, like we ask our kids like, hey, what do you want to do? Like which park's the most important? Where do you want to eat at? All those kinds of things is basically where we start.
You go to that Walt Disney World website and you look at the way they price tickets. It appears more and more to me, Kevin, that they don't want you to come for one day either, because
No.
the value hits when you get to 4 days, 5 days. Like if you go for 4 or 5 days, the math seems to make sense. But if you're going to go to Orlando and hit Universal, hit some of the other theme parks and spend one day at Disney's going to eat you for lunch, I feel like, Kevin.
Yeah. And you know what, actually, I mean, like Universal's the same way. And so are a lot of the other parks down there. It's just how it goes. Like, they want you to stay multiple days. They want you to stay on property. And it's all set up in a way that rewards you if you do that. You get extra perks. And like you said, like the tickets get a little cheaper for each day that you add, and you'll sit on their website and I think you can like toggle like how many days it is, and you can see how much you're saving. Like, saving, like not really, but that's kind of how it's set up. And for us, it's hard to go for a shorter amount of time and really try to get your value out of it. There are ways to do that, but it's one of those things where, like, if it's going to be your vacation, it's your vacation.
Disney has, I think 100%. If you're going to Universal, go to Universal, spend a few days there. If you're going to Disney, you spend a few days there. I feel like making those 2 vacations, both of those companies, to your point, are really emphasizing, just come see us this time. Next time, go see the other one across town. When you, for somebody like Crystal, who's never been to these parks before, you mentioned there's 4 parks. Can you go over what the 4 parks are, so Crystal has some clue what the hell we're talking about?
Yeah. So Magic Kingdom is the primary park. That's the first park. That's what everybody kind of thinks of when they think of Disney, the castle, Cinderella's castle, all that stuff.
If people are going to that, if people are going to that park, Kevin, if we just take these one at a time, if people are going to that park, like, what are you primarily looking for? Who's going to like that park the most?
It's a pretty well-received park across the board. It has a lot of it appeals to a lot of people. So there's a lot of nostalgia there for Disney adults and Disney seniors, things like that, like people who've grown up with Disney. There's a lot there that ties everything together. There's also a lot, they've been working a lot recently with connecting with younger audiences. Obviously there's a lot of rides that are appeal to kids. Now they've added Tron recently, which is unbelievable. And that kind of appeals more to your, people who are looking for a little more excitement on some rides.
Yeah, Tron is a cool roller coaster experience, Crystal. You get on one of those light, it looks like a motorcycle, right? Looks like you're getting on a motorcycle.
From the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you fly around on this motorcycle.
Yeah. It's way too short. Like it should be longer, but for what it is, it's awesome. Like, especially at night when it's all lit up.
For the 22 seconds you're on it. It's fantastic. Oh yeah, at night. I haven't ridden it at night.
That's the whole point.
It's awesome. Even if you're not even riding it and you go up there at night, like, because part of the ride goes outside, and it's all lit up and like you can get pretty close to the track to see the cars going by. It's crazy. I love it.
This is probably the most balanced park, to your point, Kevin. Yeah.
Yeah. It's split up. It's split up into different areas. Obviously you come in Main Street, turn the corner, there's the castle. And then on your left and right, as you walk up, there's different, kind of walkways to get to the different lands, I guess they're called. And they do have plans over the next few years to add a couple more. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. And they've added some, like I said, Tron, and then Splash Mountain got refreshed recently to Tiana's Bayou Adventure, I think it is. I did not actually get to go on that. This last time I was there, it was open. I was there for a specific media event. So the rest of my family all got to go on it, and they loved it. So I'm going to take their word for it. It's pretty good.
The name, Crystal, I think Splash Mountain and now Tiana's event tells you everything you need to know. You're gonna get a little wet on this ride.
Do all four have like a Splash Mountain kind of like a wet theme inside of each, or they're all standalone?
No, they're all a little different.
Animal Kingdom has a wet ride.
Yeah, I don't think Hollywood Studios has anything.
I can't remember
Living in the Land, but that's not Living in the Land is not exactly an exciting water ride.
And there is a little splash down on the Frozen ride, but that's not going to get you wet either. Yeah. No, that one's actually really good. I love that ride.
So where's that one?
That one is.
Let's go to that part next.
Yeah.
Let's go to that park next, Kevin.
Yeah. So Epcot is kind of split into two different sections. Epcot, I wish I could remember offhand what it stands for. It's been a long time since it.
Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah. So basically everything looks like in the future, in some regard. So it's kind of split up. You got all your, it's even hard to describe what it is. Like, it's basically Walt Disney's vision for what the future might look like, in different aspects. From, you got stuff like Soarin', where you're flying through the air. You got Living in the Land, where it's, basically you just look at plants. It's a very popular ride for my mom. But there's something for everyone. It's indoors too, and relaxing. You get to sit down. You got the Living Seas. So you have a little underwater adventure. You have Guardians of the Galaxy, which is by far the best ride in all of the parks, at least to me. That one's relatively new. And then the other half of it is the World Showcase, which is a collection of different countries, just kind of a homage to those countries, from the food to the people who work there, to just the architecture. Everything is, I guess, as authentic as you can get without actually going to those countries. It's pretty cool area, and that is where you find the Frozen ride. I think it's in Norway, um, which actually it used to be
Ah,
a long time ago. Obviously, before Frozen, it was a ride called the Maelstrom. It was like a Viking ride, um, and that was my favorite ride at the park. And I was so mad
Oh
when they,
no.
when they redid it as Frozen. But then I went on it, and I was like, "This is awesome!" Actually, like it made
okay.
me actually be able
Yeah.
to tolerate Frozen. So
Tolerate.
Let it go,
Oh.
Kevin. Let it go.
yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
that's funny. Well, it's good to know that some of the places that are indoors, because for weather planning, because that's another unpredictable thing is, okay, if it's raining, everybody's gonna, maybe um morph over to the same place. So you want to get there early or something like that.
Yeah, and actually, it's not so unpredictable in Florida. You're pretty sure it's going to rain at some point during your vacation if you go there, regardless of time of year.
Okay.
And,
Well,
and
that's
the
good to
idea
know.
too, Crystal, of getting there early, Kevin, I just think if you're planning a theme park vacation, getting there early and maybe taking a rest in the afternoon, way better than getting there late.
Yeah, for sure. So if you stay at a Disney World resort, you have access to like early entry. I believe at all the parks, it's like a half hour, something like that,
Mhm.
before they let everybody else in. And so you can
Nice.
go, you know, get in line and kind of knock out some stuff. I went there a few years ago on actually this is funny because for my own podcast I was doing some research. We'll call it research. I just basically went to Disney by myself without my family,
Immersion. Joe
you
does
know,
that all the
and
time.
and called it work. But I went there and I had early entry and I went to Hollywood Studios and I knocked out like literally like half of the park before anybody else was in there. It was like awesome.
Nice.
Uh, and I had bought like I'm sure we'll talk about it, but I bought the Genie Plus pass and I was like, I don't even need this. Like I literally just rode all of
So
the good
early.
rides. Um, but yeah, like getting there early is pretty important. A lot of families, what they'll do is that they go there for, the morning and part of the afternoon, and then they take off back to their resorts. Especially if you're staying at Disney Resort and they have transportation, whether it's buses or
Oh.
monorails or whatever. Like it's super convenient just to go back, maybe get a nap, go hit the pool, uh, grab a snack, just relax for a few hours. I always found with our family, like if we were able to do that, even though it's technically less time in the park, like our time that's there is so much better. Like
Oh,
nobody's hangry, nobody's like they're not
Ah.
fighting. like like the lines are a little more tolerable if you can just get a break
A break.
and
I
yeah.
got that. I got that advice originally, Kevin, from a great book called Disney World with Kids.
Oh.
Yeah.
And the author said, don't try to get your quote money's worth at Disney because you can't see everything. And the problem is we go to Disney World and we want to see every single thing that they have, and it's too damn big. You won't do it.
Yeah.
So instead, she said, relax, forget about seeing everything, and try to enjoy everything you see, which means, to your point, then that led to what you just said, which is going back and taking the nap. And I remember the first time my family did this. I don't know if you felt this way, Kevin, but I'm leaving the Magic Kingdom with my family. I just paid $1 bazillion to get into this thing, and I'm going to leave for 3 hours or 4 hours in the middle of the day. I'm like, what kind of moron am I, where I'm wasting all this money? But we go back to the resort. We were staying in a nice one. We'll talk about hotels later, one called Port Orleans. They had a
Oh yeah.
great slide. Our kids were maybe 5 or 6 this first time that they went, and they played in the pool. We took a nap. I don't think everybody slept, but everybody rested. And then we get on the bus, and I remember coming back in, Kevin, about 4:30 in the afternoon, and we immediately see 2 different families that are just bitching.
Oh.
Everybody's crying,
Tired of
and
each other.
my kids are happy and ready to go.
Refreshed.
And hey, we took these 6-year-olds. We stayed till close, which
Nice.
was incredible, staying until 11 o'clock at night with
Yeah.
6-year-olds, which normally that's way past their bedtime. So they thought that was freaking cool too.
Yeah, we've done it different ways. Obviously, when they were younger, we would definitely try to plan in time to go back to the resort. And if you're staying at a Disney resort, like it's not your standard hotel. Like, I mean, there's a lot to do there. Their pools are like insanely like themed,
So
Disney
themed.
wise, and they all have,
Mm.
crazy stuff going on. They all have like food courts and just various areas that are just fun for kids. And so that would be the case. As our kids got a little older, what we would do is like maybe my wife always loves to nap. So she would head back with a few of them, and maybe I would keep one kid or two kids with me, and we would knock out some other rides that they were interested in, or go stop and get a
Oh, that the whole
snack,
family doesn't want to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we just kind of do our own thing, or like some trips we'd have like the hopper passes, which allow you to, after a certain time, to kind of jump from park to park. And so we would be like, hey, we're going to go over here and get on these couple rides, and then come back, or meet our family at a different park.
Mhm.
And that was awesome. We've also done it, you know as we add, like, we had two kids, and then we adopted two more to give us the family of six.
Aw.
And so at that point we were like, oh crap, like what are we gonna do, because we don't fit like into a standard hotel. And like at that time, like Disney hotels weren't really, not all of them were equipped to be able to, fit a family of six in one room. Or if it was like, it was like insanely expensive. So then we started renting like
Mm.
Airbnbs or vacation rentals close by. And we do that quite often still, just because our kids are like my sons are just enormous. So like, they just need, yeah, they need space. Like,
Yeah.
even if we can fit into a one hotel room, like there's something to be said about having your own space and being able to spread out from each other
And
when you're on a
bathrooms,
vacation,
multiple
you know.
bathrooms, yeah.
Yeah, for sure that, and a lot of times though that we'll have a pool at our resort or whatever complex it is, and we could do the same thing. It's a little trickier trying to get back. It's not quite as convenient as, just hopping on the monorail back to your hotel or bus, but you could still do it for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask about, because sometimes, man, I look at the prices staying offsite versus onsite. Drastic difference to stay in some of these condominiums. It can be really affordable.
Yeah, for sure. Like Disney resorts, they have different levels. Um, I've stayed at kind of each level of them. They have like
Nice.
value resorts, which are really, you know, in the Disney ecosphere, they're relatively affordable. Um, and then you got your moderates, and then you got deluxe ones, which I stayed at recently, the Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Ooh.
Awesome place.
Ah.
Like where you just like wake up, look out your window, there's a giraffe. Like
You
that's
know,
just like, that's
Oh.
as you
how,
do.
Whoa.
yeah,
Wake up, say
exactly.
hello
So
to the giraffe, like a random day in Cleveland.
yeah, exactly. It's exactly like Cleveland, but
But Disney.
so they have different options within Disney. And they have some cool perks that come with that. One that they've added recently is, like, what happens a lot of times is, if you, like for us, we were in Cleveland, we fly in, and even if we have an early flight, like you get in and it's like, 11, 12 o'clock, and you're like, well, I don't want to go to a park today because it's kind of a waste of one of my
Travel
park
day.
days. So,
Oh.
all of the resorts, if you, book a Disney resort, you get access to their water parks. I think there's two of them. I think only one is open at a time though. Uh, and you can go to the water park for the day for free. Like it's included when you book
Huh.
through Disney, which is cool because their water park, maybe you have one near where you live or whatever, and it's cool. Like, but the Disney one's like kind of
Yeah.
Over the
crazy.
top.
Like, yeah, it's over the top.
On
Everything's
steroids.
themed like crazy. It's really cool. So that's kind of a nice thing. Obviously, you have the resort too that you can stay and swim and do whatever, and then get started the next morning on your park adventures. But they also have they're not owned by Disney, but there is what are called good neighbor hotels, which are, just outside of the Disney area. There is, um, hotels like Marriott's and Hilton's and Hyatt's that are, kind of partner with Disney. So they offer some of the benefits that you might get if you stay on property, but they're a little more affordable.
Mm.
They might have, it kind of varies from place to place. They might have some Mickey waffles when, at breakfast time, kind of like you would have at the parks. They have transportation that they offer, usually a bus. Trying to remember, I don't know if they give, I haven't stayed at one in a long time. I don't know if they have early entry or not, but there are definitely some perks to that. If you're looking for something that's still, maybe they still have some Disney theming around the hotel, but it's not as quite as crazy as on property. And then obviously, I mean, I always look at like Disney and like, what is it, Lake Buena Vista, where it's actually at, and then the Orlando area is like, in terms of accommodations, it's actually one of the more affordable vacations because there's just so many places you can stay.
Options.
It's like crazy, the number of hotels, the number of, vacation rentals. So we've never had a problem finding something that's affordable and fits our family. And
that's why,
within like 10, 15 minutes of the park.
Well, and that's why I think, Kevin, deciding where you're going to stay, is it important to you to be on there, to be on site and get the perk where you get in early and you get even more of that Disney theming when you come back? Like, and to your point, it is way over the top. I feel like staying on property, I get this little extra thrill, even though, when I look at the prices, Crystal, where those, there, Kevin's talking about the all-star resorts and how they're the value package. Well, value package, hotel will be like, let's say a Ramada Inn or a Super 8 motel. Maybe the room's kind of inside, besides the fact that they are themed Disney, really feel like a Super 8 motel. I mean, it is very Spartan, but they are decorated Disney. And man, you go outside your room, by the way, these parks are full on Disney, but where I think baseline, like $100, $120 for a hotel room in random place. Kevin, I think the all-star resorts on average day, probably like 180, 180, maybe ish, that area. You go to those mid-level resorts, I think mid-level, I generally think like a Fairfield by Marriott or something, a Hampton Inn, kind of a mid player. And people's scale might be different than me, but Disney's mid, you're going to be at $250 to $300 for those mids a night. And then those deluxe resorts like that Animal Kingdom Lodge, if it's in season, Kevin, I mean, we're looking at $600 a night, $700 a night. I tried to stay at the Polynesian next January when I run a marathon there. It was like $800 a night that thing was going to be, Kev.
Yeah. Yeah, that one, I have not stayed there yet. I love it. Every time I pass by on the monorail, I'm just like, oh my gosh, please.
Sometime
somebody just pay for that.
That's when you wish on the star. That's when you're wishing.
Let me throw out two things real quick on saving some money on hotels. Real quick is that if you go to the Disney website and you scroll to the places to stay, there is a little tab that says view special offers, and they offer, discounts all the time for different reasons, whether you live in Florida or you're military background or you're traveling during a certain time, that you can save up to like 35%. They even have one for like, if you have Disney Plus, you're a subscriber, that you can get a discount on their hotels. So there's that. And then if you're like me and you're a points and miles person, you like to do that. Most of the Disney resorts, obviously you can't use points for, but there are a few, and they are like the Swan, the Swan Reserve, and the Dolphin. They are owned by Marriott. So you can use Marriott points for that. Or if you have certain Chase cards, you can transfer that over to Marriott, and then you can use those. That's what I did. On that solo trip I took, I stayed there, and I actually was able to walk to 2 of the parks right from my hotel.
Sweet.
That is like super convenient. So those would be 2 ways that if you want to stretch your dollars, or you're into points and miles and you want to find a way to still stay there on property, that's how you do it.
You before we go to the break, and we got two parks we want to talk about after the break. I feel like we need you here for like 7 parts, Kevin, for this like a 7-part series about Disney. But you mentioned Hopper Pass. So Hopper Pass is a way to go from park to park to park in the same day. Is it worth it to buy the Hopper Pass, or should I just say, you know what, I'm going to go to the Magic Kingdom on Monday and I'm going to go to Epcot on Tuesday?
We generally do not get it. I'm not saying it's not worth it, but it is definitely an upcharge to purchase that ticket. So there's some different strategies involved. It's not something that's relatively easy to figure out either. Like, cause there are people who watch like some of the different apps that have like the ride times, and, can gauge by the season or the days, like whether it's going to be busy or not. You're looking at like when each park opens up in the morning, because it's not all the same. Some of them open later than others. So there's some strategy involved in whether to do that. It's also on, for us, my wife's a teacher. Our kids are always in public schools. So like we're going at the busiest times possible. We're going at spring break. We're going at, right when kids get out of school, things like that. So it's always busy. Generally, those are the times where it might be beneficial to do that. Most of the time, though, we just pick a park, and that's it for the day. Like, it's not that big of a deal to do that. We will splurge for the Genie Plus passes if we think it's going to be busy, or they have like ones that are like specific to a couple of the better rides. If we think that it's going to be hard to get on those, we will purchase those. But I always kind of just factor that in as part of the ticket costs, and not think of it as a separate charge.
We'll talk about Genie Plus, which is part of the technology people use when they're walking around the park to check on. You mentioned checking wait times and also to get on rides early. But first, at the halfway point, we are at the halfway point. There's the music coming up. And that means, Crystal, that it's time for our road trip pit stop. Woohoo. On the pit stop here, I was dreaming about what's at the end of the adventure, how cool it'll be when we get there. Pit stop's always a hint at the gear of the day. You can see our past gears of the day at stackingadventures.com/gear of the day. What I like, Crystal, about our gear of the day is that we play tested every single thing in here. Like, these are not just random things we're throwing in some Amazon shop. This is stuff that either we've used or our guests have used. So if you want to curate the things that are around your adventure, stackingadventures.com/GOTD or gear of the day. So Kevin, you brought the hint today, man. What's our gear of the day going to be today?
Well, I guess for a hint, if you want it to be something challenging, is that this piece of gear is actually similar to a transformer. And I mean the toys, not the
not the building power, not a power transformer.
Right. Crystal, we're bringing our own utility with us.
Giant transformer on your back.
Electricity. You have your own electricity.
How great is that? Boy, that'd be a shocking experience. All right, hold on. We'll think about it. We'll be right back. You think about it, adventures. We'll be right back, and Crystal and I will have our guesses. All right, Kevin's hint. It's like a transformer.
There wasn't enough time to guess. We need more sponsors.
It's something that changes.
Like it's got to be something.
Glasses that become sunglasses.
Something that has multiple uses. Because the first thing that comes to mind is like a selfie stick that's also a cane, that's also a chair.
Do you have one of those?
No. Someone invent that.
Someone will be inventing that shortly.
You work at the patent office. Go patent that thing right now, Crystal.
Let's see. It's got something convertible.
Man, I haven't seen anybody bring a chair in there, but you totally could.
I know. How great would that be?
That'd be a great idea.
It might be a backpack that doubles as.
Where's dumped?
Parachute.
Yeah, that's right.
To get out of there. Pop me back to my hotel room.
This line's too long.
That's right. We're at the top of.
And I hope you can't scoot. I'm praying there's no scooters allowed in there.
Space Mountain. And Transformer also means maybe a charger for your phone.
Yeah, charger power holder.
Yeah,
could be your wallet. It goes from being full to empty.
Well, that trip to Disney, we'll do that. Yes, it is a wallet.
Yeah, you need self-replenishing money.
It's a wallet in the Disney website.
It's
combo.
not a shoe related. Shoes don't no.
Oh, maybe those shoes, Crystal, that pop up and they have roller skates, so you can just roller through the park.
Oh yeah, the Heelys.
Yeah.
Heelys.
Those things pop
and
out.
And they light. So you have Heelys and you can light up.
You'll be could you imagine me with those at 57 years old? Like that's wild.
Injury.
Yeah, that is an injury waiting to happen. I give some people inadvertent hugs. All right, Crystal, let's think about that, and we'll have our guests at the end of today's show. How about that?
I have a guess.
Okay, you gonna do it now or wait till the end of the show?
I don't know. All right, we'll wait.
Okay.
Or now.
You tell me. I don't know.
I think it's a cup, maybe like a water bottle or something.
Oh.
You can just stick it in your pocket when you need water.
That's a good idea too. Somebody had one of those, the collapsible cups. One of our guests had a collapsible.
That you just clip it on the carabiner.
Yeah. Did David talk about that? Hiking the flat cup? I don't remember.
So.
All right, Kevin, we're going to guess at the end of the show. Let's get back to this, but before we get into Genie Plus, let's try to get through our parks here. So we talked about the Magic Kingdom, Epcot. Epcot is funny, Kevin. I used to think Epcot was kind of the adult park when my kids were young, but to your point, they've really put in some good rides there. Guardians of the Galaxy, also my favorite ride. Love the new Ratatouille ride. I know that Test Track 3.0 coming online. I believe as we tape this, like this week, it's coming back.
Yeah, it's coming back. That's exciting.
Right.
Yeah, it's a weird park.
So weird.
I grew up going to it, and it was like, oh, this is all right. Like, it's definitely better than it was before. There's a lot more rides now. But yeah, it is. I mean, and as you get older, the World Showcase becomes a little cooler, especially because they have a lot of festivals there throughout the year. A flower and garden show. They have different food booths set up. They normally have incredible food at all of the countries anyway, but there's like extra ones that have just very unique flavors and adult beverages from around the world. And it's a good time. So a lot of people actually, Disney adults will drink around the world. That's a nice little game. Not so much fun when you're with your kids, but.
Or trying to
who cares if the kids think you're funnier? You are funnier. The dad jokes become better.
They do.
Yeah. This one, Crystal, is the biggest park square footage wise. It's huge. Like, make sure you pack a good pair of sneakers. But as I get older, Kevin, to your point, this is my favorite park. Like, Epcot is my favorite park. I can't go to Disney World. I will generally do one day with the Hopper Pass, so I can just hit a couple. I realize that costs me a lot more money, but I really only have one day or want to be there one day. And I always make sure I go to Epcot. By the way, Epcot and restaurants, Kevin, can we talk a second? Like, if you go to regional theme parks, the restaurants are throwaway. You don't generally worry about the restaurants, but man, Kevin, if you don't go to the restaurants where you're at Disney, you're missing out, I think.
Really?
Yeah, and I mean that extends across all of the parks. And obviously you have, similar to other theme parks, you have certain places that cater to kids. You know, they have chicken tenders on the menu,
Of
or
course.
adults. You know, nothing wrong with a little chicken tendy action, but there's like a wide range of just dining, from just snack carts that are around the park to just like really nice fancy sit downs. There's meals where there's specific characters that'll show up throughout your
Uh-huh.
meal. And then you get into what is really cool in the last, I don't know, 5-7 years, is them offering the mobile app that where you can order your food on there and go and pick it up. Like, you can be in line for a ride. We got our whole family like, hey, what do you want? Just pass the phone around. Everybody's
Oh,
places their
perfect.
order, and then like you pick the time. So we just gauge when we're going to be off the ride and go and pick it up, and we go eat. No standing in line. It's awesome. And
Tech.
most of the places actually have catered to people with special dietary needs. There's like, as you
Oh,
scroll through the mobile app, you'll see all the food, and then as you get a little further down, you're getting to just a huge section of like gluten-free food, which my wife, that is what she really needs, is she has some health issues, so she eats gluten-free, and so we try to find those places that do that. I'm not sure if it's everywhere, but it's pretty close. Like, there's a lot
hmm.
of options.
Restaurants that I love at the Magic Kingdom. I like the Liberty Tree Tavern, which is this
Ooh,
family style
yes.
restaurant. You're going to
Yeah.
get full there, so watch out. I don't love the food, but I love the cantina, Kevin, that goes along with the Jungle Book, and I don't remember the name of the cantina.
Oh, I
Um,
forgot what it is.
but
I know
but
what
the
you're talking
waiters
about.
all
Yeah.
yeah, the waiters, Crystal, all tell dad jokes. Like, they come over and they tell like bad puns, bad dad
Yeah.
jokes. And if you can get a seat at Tony's on Main Street, which is a pasta place on Main Street, at the time the parade is going on, we've done this a
Ah,
couple times, or we get to sit front row for the parade. I'm having dinner while everybody else is standing and a little uncomfortable. I'm sitting
Yeah.
eating pasta while the while the parade goes by. Like,
nice.
those are great ones at the
Man,
Magic
I've
Kingdom.
never I've never eaten there. Joe's living large at Disney. I love this.
There we go, man.
So
Eh,
next conference that you guys go to and you're going there, just invite me. I'll be
We
there.
got
I'll
to
be there.
go. Yeah, the
Yes,
three of us, Kevin, you and I, we'll take Crystal with us. We'll show her
there
around.
we go.
And
We will
then
do
and
that.
then and then at Epcot, to your point, if those festivals are going on, even though the restaurants at Epcot I think are second to none when it comes to theme parks, the festival food, to your point, so good. It's so fun,
Oh,
and you're just trying little things. And if you put that in the
Yeah.
budget that I'm going to spend on a meal, but instead I'm going to eat it over 5 different pit stops,
Yeah.
it ends up costing the same. If you look at it piece by piece, you're like, are you kidding me? I'm paying $9 for this little thing of food. But if you think I'm going to pay $50 for a dinner and I get 5 of those, well, then I'm
Yeah.
doing pretty well. But the
yeah.
restaurants at Epcot, I like the restaurant in France. I like the restaurant in Morocco. If you have young kids, the Benihana style restaurant in Japan is really cool. My kids were
Yeah.
fascinated by that at 6 years old. Like, that was
Of course,
great.
the
Uh,
show.
the restaurant, the pizza restaurant in Italy is really good. The sit down restaurant, not so much. You can tell them all about the food, guys. The
Clearly.
There's nothing
the,
wrong with that.
the Rose and Crown pub,
Oh,
um,
yes.
in England, not known for great food, but I'll tell you, the one at Epcot is fantastic. I would
Hmm.
stay away. Oh, and the Mexican pavilion, you can sit
Mexican
inside.
is so good.
Yeah, and you sit by the river with the pyramid in the background.
Huh.
It is really, really cool. The Mexican restaurant. I would stay away from the Chinese restaurant. Not good. Don't The Moroccan one is really fun. If you go when the belly dancer goes, that's fun. My kids thought that was hilarious. They got to get up and belly dance
Oh.
with the belly dancer. Yeah, just a good time. Great restaurants at Epcot. All right, we got to move on. What's our
Oh yeah.
third part, Kevin?
Oh, well, let's head over to probably my favorite park, Hollywood Studios.
Mm.
Formerly MGM Studios, and now it's Hollywood Studios,
Oh.
and it's basically all about the movies. That's what the history that park is. It ties to movies very well. Um,
Hmm.
they've replaced some of the older rides, like the Great Movie Ride, which is now Mickey and Minnie Runaway Railway, which is a really unique. It's even hard to describe. Like just a unique ride. I think they're updating the Rock and Roller Coaster that's there. It used to be Aerosmith themed, and it was a pretty cool roller coaster. I think it's gonna be Muppets now. They're changing the Muppets area to something else. There's a lot going on there. There's a whole huge. If you're a Star Wars fan, there is a giant area of the park dedicated to Star Wars, and then they have Star Wars days. At
Oh.
least a couple times a year, and as you're walking through the entrance, there will be like stormtroopers up on like the entrance roof, like with their little blasters, like watching you go in. It's very cool. There's like Indiana Jones stunt show, the
Oh.
Phantasmic show at night, which is kind of like their light and fireworks and waterworks like show is insane. The Tower of Terror, like I could just keep going on and on. Toy Story
That's
Land,
just say Toys Pixar. Yeah.
Oh.
yes. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Toy Story Mania is one of our favorite family rides, just because it's a competitive ride where you shoot targets and compare scores at the end. And generally, I will come up on top. And because I know my family is lazy and they will not watch this show, what I tend to do is, as I'm in line, I will actually go on to like TikTok, and I just search for people who have tips on how to win that game. And
That's
and
funny.
I just like, okay, they said to shoot here
Cheat code.
first and do this and do that. And I generally just come out on top, and everybody's like, how do you keep doing that? Well, that's how.
You're in this little seat, Crystal, and
That's
it
funny.
rotates around to
Yeah.
different screens. And then
Ah.
it's like the curtains open up and you're playing different midway games as you go. So one, you're throwing darts, another one, you're throwing hoops, rings, another one,
Oh,
you're
that's
smashing
cool.
plates, I think. So
Yeah,
you're
it's all like
doing all these
carnival
crazy
games.
things. Yeah. And Kevin, to
Ah.
your point, some of the things are worth very few points, and other things, there'll be, some squirrel with a plate way up high. And if you just hit him once, you're going to beat the person that hits the plates up front like 50 times.
Yeah, and if you clear out certain ones, like other things will pop up that are worth more. So that's the
Strategy.
tip, is just go online or on one of the social media apps and search, and you will get all the answers. Sometimes it works better if the two people are actually working together, but I don't do that at all.
No, come on. It's competition. You got to show them dad's dad, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. There's actually there is at going back to Magic Kingdom, there is a Buzz Lightyear ride there. They're refreshing it pretty soon. It's a kind of a similar type of ride where you're shooting things. And I actually, the last time I was there, got the highest score you can get on there. It's like 999.
Wow.
Oh my God. I've never come
1,999.
close.
And that's like the next day they announced they were updating it. So I figured that was because of me.
You broke it.
They're
You
like,
broke the
it's too
internet.
easy.
Yeah.
So, has to be.
If Kevin can master this,
Yeah,
we
exactly.
got to do better. I think the best ride here, which was the best ride maybe in Orlando for a short time before Guardians of the Galaxy came, and over at Universal, a ride, the Velociraptor came. Before those two rides came, I think Rise of the Resistance is one of the best rides anywhere, I think, Kevin.
Yes, and I'm not going to give it away, but the first time I rode this, like the first portion of it, I was like, this is it.
What's
Like,
going
on? This is all it is. And but it changes quickly to something way better. Yeah. I grew up with Star Wars. My boys are just hardcore Star Wars. So
Nice.
that was definitely a big draw for us to be able to go on that ride. You mentioned
It's every bit as much
Velocicoaster,
of
though.
it's every bit, Kevin, as much an experience as it is a ride.
Yeah.
And to your point, there is one part, and again, I don't want to give too many spoilers, but I will say this: there is one part where the employees are dressed like they are parts of they work for the Empire, and you are a rebel. And their job, imagine, Crystal, this is your job, is to berate the guests. Like they just walk around and berate the guest, and it's so damn funny, Kevin.
It is. If it's depending on the cast member, you're gonna have a lot of fun with it. If you've ever been to like the restaurant like Dick's Last Resort, like it's like that,
in
but
Chicago,
the family friendly version of it. The G-rated version of that. But
That's
yeah, some of
cute.
them really get into it, and it's funny.
That is a great one. Of course, their classic ride, I think, is probably Tower of Terror, which is not as, it is scary. I think little kids would be afraid. And I know my kids were afraid the first time they went on, but they came off that ride smiling. Like if you can get your kid just to ride Tower of Terror, they will most probably have a great time.
Yeah, I love that one. It's incredible. At Disneyland, they actually updated it to that one is a Guardians of Galaxy ride now. It's kind of different, but at Disney World, it is still very much the old hotel, like Twilight Zone, very, very kind of creepy. It's a lot of fun though. It's probably one of our family's favorite rides, across the board.
Great restaurants here too. Cheryl and I, maybe now our favorite restaurant as we get older at all the Disney parks is here. It's the Brown Derby. Really enjoy the food at the Brown Derby. But I like the campiness of 50s Primetime Cafe. It's like Crystal, you're in a 50s TV show and your cousin is serving you food and another stepbrother is serving you water and drinks. And by the way, my cousin Leah kept telling us that stepbrother Luke was a little slow, so don't make fun of him, to my kids that were, again, at this point, I think my kids were like 10 when we were there when that happened. And Luke would come around and my kids would start snickering every time because Leah was like, don't make fun of him. And Luke would always just go, he'd play it up and he'd go, what? And so, I got in trouble because I didn't eat all my food. So they did the little airplane thing with everybody watching in the area. 50s the Sci-Fi Diner.
Sci-Fi, yes, I love
it's
that.
It's like you're in an outdoor movie theater and they sit you in these cars.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. Super, super fun being at the drive-in. So great restaurants there too. One more to go, Kevin. What's our last one?
The last one is Animal Kingdom. And got to be honest, like it's probably I like it, but it's probably out of the four, it's my least favorite. Some people just like that's their thing. For me, part of it's like a zoo, which we have here in Cleveland. I mean, it's like a really good one, but
really good one.
Like the safari ride, is really cool, especially if like the lions are out. I've seen people have videos where they're roaring, and it's just like just terrifying, to hear that. But it's a lot, obviously you can go to over to like Africa and go on a safari and it'll be a lot more, a lot closer to the action, but this is a lot closer than your local zoo, for sure. But they've really built this park up with some more rides. You got Avatar ride, was really popular. I forget what it's called, but Flight of something, I don't know.
Flight of Passage, I think
that's what it is.
Like, I wouldn't have even gotten that if you hadn't said Flight of, by the way.
Yeah, like honestly, I've never seen Avatar, so I don't know about these blue people. The only I don't know. The only thing that I do not care for, like the ride itself is awesome. The only thing I don't care for is like the queue beforehand where you go into like a room and they try to explain everything. It's like 10 minutes long of them trying to like, you could almost watch the movie instead. Like, it's like, I don't know what any of this stuff is. I don't know who these people are. Like, it takes a lot of long time for them to describe everything. I was like, let's just ride the ride.
Right.
but it's
But
really cool. I think is it Matterhorn? Is that the ride? Or no, it's
Everest.
Everest. That's what it is. I'm thinking the other somewhere. Yeah, Everest is cool with the Yeti. Very cool ride. I'm trying
Good
to think what
roller
else. There's a
coaster, good
Lion
family
King
roller
show
coaster.
there is really good.
Oh.
I think
Do
they're
you know
they're
that
upgrading part of the park. They're getting rid of the Dino Land area, I think, maybe. I
I
don't
feel
know.
like this park too, to your point, Kevin, is really in transition right now. They
Yeah.
almost don't know what to do with it. So they're creating a new Encanto land and things are being reworked. I think the Tree of Life is going to be reworked as well. The big centerpiece for the park. But to your point, for me too, it's my least favorite park. I like going there. I'm never unhappy when I am there,
Mhm.
but seeing these floating islands, Crystal, like in Avatar, did you
Oh.
see Avatar?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, seeing these floating islands, how they were able to recreate that and give you the illusion that there's these
Oh.
floating islands above you is a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, and it's one of those very experiential rides for all of the senses. To at certain times you will you even smell like the trees, or like there's like a citrusy scent at certain times. Disney does a really good job with just really allowing you to experience all five senses. Soarin' at Epcot
Wow.
is kind of the same way. And it's a similar ride, except you're not a blue person. you're yourself.
That's funny.
Yeah, we tend to go. A lot of our trips maybe are like 7 days, and we'll spend 4 days in parks. And I'm always tempted just to not use our fourth day
Do
on
that.
that and just go to the different one that we liked a lot and go back.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
It's for us. It's one of those ones that every other trip, it's cool for us. I'm not saying it's a bad park though. It really is good. I just like the other ones so much better.
I love your description though. It is definitely an upgraded zoo. If your family loves the zoo, this is a way better zoo.
And animals.
Your kids are going to have a great time at this zoo.
Even the food there is really good too.
Oh yeah, the food there is I've never been to their top restaurant, the one that starts with a T.
Yeah, neither have I. I've been to like Rainforest Cafe.
Yeah, right.
Oh no!
But some people have said that restaurant's the best restaurant in all of Disney. Like a lot of people rate it their number one restaurant. And I've never been. Let's talk about the technology though, Kevin, before we say goodbye.
Yes.
You mentioned this thing, Genie Plus, where we can maybe get on rides early. How does that work? And is that, you said you invest in it. Do you think it's worth it for everybody, or how do you quantify whether it's worth it?
So, let's start first with the mobile app, because that's actually where everything kind of runs through that. Even Genie Plus, the My Disney Experience app. If you're going to Disney, you need to download that even before you arrive. Basically, you have access to the whole website and tons of tools right on your phone. All the wait times are on there. The mobile dining is on there. You can book your Genie Plus passes on there. It's just like everything. You can even chat with, Disney customer service on there if you're having an issue or have a question. They're pretty quick to respond normally. But the Genie
and that
Plus
part's all free, right? But that part's all free.
Yep, that's all free.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like you alluded to before, FastPass used to be the system. And I think they've really, I don't know if they've struggled, but ever since, after the pandemic, travel opened up and like Disney went crazy, they've been kind of bouncing around with different ideas. They had their FastPass Plus, they had like a Disney and Lightning, they're like Genie Plus and Lightning Lane and all this stuff. And now it's all kind of falls under Genie Plus, but it's basically an add-on. And so throughout the day, like you can book like a certain, I think it's like 3 at a time where you can pick a time that you're going to arrive back at that ride to the line. And you basically get into a shortcut line and pass all
Nice.
these other people. They hate you for doing it, but like you're just, hey, see you later, losers, as you walk past. And
Losers.
it's not that it doesn't have like a wait time, but it's definitely a lot shorter. Maybe if the
Yeah.
ride has like a 45-minute, standby line, maybe the your Genie Plus line, or I think Lightning Lane, is like 10 minutes, 5 minutes. So it definitely cuts out a lot of the time. So if you have the room in your budget and getting on as many rides as possible is your goal, it's
Mm-hmm.
like I would just build it into the cost of the ticket and just, that's what we're budgeting for. That's what we're going for, is to ride as many rides as possible, get on all the good stuff. And because you never know if it's a busy day and every ride is like an hour and a half wait, like you do the math, like you're going to run out of hours to go on everything.
Good point. Start with what you want to ride.
Yeah,
Or your
for
goals
sure.
of the park.
What's cool is that once you've used, like you've checked in for one of them, like another one opens up, so then you can go and book that one, or you can even go in there. A lot of people will use strategies where they go back in once they have a time confirmed, and like you can refresh the screen and different times pop up. So maybe you're like, oh, I can do this one instead real quick and then get on the one that I wanted before. Like, maybe the ride that you have a Lightning Lane has a short wait time anyway, so you don't want to waste it on that. You want to use it on something that has a longer line. You can switch it, right on the fly. That's really cool. I think you can also do it after like a certain amount of time has passed. You can schedule your next one. So it's something that you need to pay attention to if you do pay for it. Like, pay attention to the times. And we generally will have multiple people in our family like hopping on there and really trying to figure it out.
There's so much that we didn't get to, Kevin. We're going to have to do a part 2 at some point. But like as an example, Crystal, these wonderful restaurants we talked about, you want to book those 90 days in advance if possible.
Oh my goodness.
The Disney geeks know this, and so they book them up, and you go to this cool restaurant you heard about on Stacking Adventures, and you show up and they're like, yeah, you can't get in here today. So you want to book it ahead of time.
That's like I said, this is not, it's not it can be a relaxing vacation. You can make it that way, but it's not one where you can it's not a mindless vacation where you just hop onto like a cruise ship and you just like, all right, what are we gonna do? Like, like a beach vacation, like, or nothing's planned and you can just kind of go on the fly. It is not that kind of vacation. If you stay on a Disney property, you get earlier access to the dining reservations than just
good point.
Someone staying off property. Like, so that's another one of the nice perks. If that's something that's important to you, is getting in those places, that's something to think about.
Yeah, the really hot restaurants, if you're staying off property, when that 90 days hits, it might already be booked up. And you're like, what the hell? And it's because resort guests got it before people off site did.
Yep. And you can go back too, though. Like, sometimes people will book multiple ones and then cancel one. So you can go back in and keep trying if you don't get it. There's even, I think, websites or apps dedicated to like locating Disney, like dining, reservations as they open up. There's a lot of things like that, tools, even outside of the Disney, website and app, that you can use to navigate your trip.
That's a great point, Kevin. I mean, I've learned over the years, like the things that we do. I like the Peter Pan ride, not my favorite ride, but I always go there first because I know if I don't hit it first thing in the morning, it's going to be a 2-hour wait if I want to ride it. So get it out of the way right away. Enjoy my time. Crystal, in the sailboat or in the big ship. You're in a ship flying over Neverland. Very pretty. A pretty fun ride, but do stuff like learn little quirks like that. And I think you're going to have a good time. Kevin, I know you've done videos on this. You've talked about this on your podcast before. Where can people find more, man?
So if you find me on social media, on Instagram at Hey Kevin Payne, You also have the podcast and website, Family Money Adventure and Family Money Adventure Show. And then the newer website is the heykevinpayne.com. And that one's more travel focused. But we have a whole Disney series on the Family Money Adventure Show podcast, including several that were recorded at Disney for a media event. It was so fun to do that from the Contemporary Resort, which I've always wanted to like hang out in since I was a little kid, just because the monorail runs right through the middle of it. It's such a cool place. Yeah, we got a whole, I think like 8 or 9 different episodes on various aspects of the parks. So it's a good place to find me.
Yep. And we'll link we'll link to all those in our show notes. And you know what's funny, Crystal? I love following Kevin because it's hilarious. I saw you in a hotel room and you're in the middle of a video and like the curtain rod comes off right in your hand and you just run with it, man. It was hilarious.
That was not like staged. That actually happened. And I was like, I think I'm gonna have another like reel related to that a funny trend that will fit. But yeah,
Crystal,
I've had some fun. I always try to do room tours wherever I go, and they used to just be your standard boring ones, but I wanted to have some fun recently. So some of them have been pretty funny.
I was laughing. It was it was a cool room, and then the thing just disintegrates in your hand. And Kevin puts the camera up close and is like, "Hi, I'm Kevin, interior decorator."
I think it was what was it?
Undecorator.
Welcome to my channel, Hotel Handyman.
That's right, Hotel Handyman. That was what it was. Yeah, great time. Well, we got the music back up. Kevin, your clue again was this can be a transformer. Yes. And not the electrical utility transformer, but like the cars that change over. And I said maybe a backpack that changes into something else or has multiple utilities. I'm going to stick with that one.
The back pants that changes into pants.
Oh, pants that can become shorts. Jorts.
Jorts.
The tearaway pants. Like
tearaway pants.
That's Disney After Dark.
Yep.
One day it's family fun. Later on.
I'm sticking with some kind of a collapsible water.
All right, Kevin, what do we got?
All right. Well, one of you is right. The other one, not so much.
Hey.
This nice little backpack.
Oh.
Actually, this may or may not look familiar to Crystal since we were both at Travel Con, but this is from a company called Tripped Travel Gear. Newer company. They are, were travel creators who were really looking for some travel solutions that fit. And their main product is their like packing cubes that they have. It's really cool. But this one is a really lightweight backpack. I always have these backpacks that are good for like one thing, but not other stuff. Like I have one that's really good for my laptop and stuff. This is probably not for that. But this is like a perfect like park backpack where it's relatively light. You're not going to be like hauling around crazy, amount of weight all day in the park. But it's got the water bottle things on the sides, and I'm not going to show you now, but it all does fold up into this. Like it folds up into itself.
Oh,
and
that's
basically
cool.
is like this size. Like so, if
that
you want to pack
super.
it.
Oh, that's amazing.
So,
That's amazing.
I need one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty inexpensive. And it's well made. So this is coming super handy. I've only had it for, a few months, but I love it. Like my son is leaving for a trip in a couple days, and I'm just like, hey, take this with you. Like this would be really good for you to carry around. It's not going to be annoying. They always have like those drawstring bags to take into parks, and like those things just like dig into your arm and stuff. So this is nice that it's
well, and I like that, Kevin, for international travel too, because we always buy souvenirs when we go internationally. So I always need one more bag on the way home to carry on.
Yes.
And
this would be perfect for that.
Yeah, because it's very, very lightweight and doesn't take up much room on the way, and expandable, so I can put our tchotchkes in it to bring home. That's wonderful.
Yeah, you could just throw this in your luggage and then use it that way. Or because usually I take in another backpack that is a little heavy duty, that fits like laptop and all my camera gear, all that type of stuff. And I don't want to unpack everything and then use it as like a day pack wherever I go. So I'll bring this instead and just pull it out, and folds right up.
Genius.
Really nice.
That's awesome.
Transforms.
And we'll link to it, Adventures.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, stackingadventures.com/GOTD, gear of the day. And Crystal, that's got to be up among the top ones. Like this one.
Yeah.
Seriously, this one I'm going and buying like immediately.
That's cool. I hate that I didn't get to see them at TravelCon.
Yeah, they had a booth there, and they had a lot of different
they
products.
Giving them away too.
Yeah, they were giving away. They were not giving away these. They were giving away packing cubes. I got a ton of those. Those are awesome. But I think she said I was actually the first person that she's ever seen just order from them, like
from the booth.
Them. Like I was like,
nice.
I looked at the backpack. I was like, that's exactly what I've been looking for. And I just I keep trying these other ones and they don't work. So I bought 2 of them. One for me, one for my wife, right while she was standing there. I was like, hey, all right, there we go.
That's where I'm at right now. I'm like, I'm going right now. Like, let's get this done. All right, guys, speaking of that, we heard about Kevin's adventure to Disney. Do you have your Disney tips? Was there something that we missed? Is there a specific thing that you like? We're going to do a potpourri episode in the next few weeks where we get all of your travel tips. Crystal, how do people add theirs?
Yes, please head to stackingadventures.com/mystory and you'll get to record a little snippet. So we want to hear your voice.
Not even a little snippet. It could be up to 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Pontificate about Disney.
Pontificate.
Yeah, like we did today.
Please.
Kevin, thank you so much for
thanks,
mentoring
Kevin.
our adventures today, man, and making Disney worth the money.
Yeah, I love talking Disney. Unfortunately, right now I want to book a trip just because we've talked about it so much.
I know, seriously, the 3 of us are at conferences
and
together
food.
Enough. If we get an Orlando conference, I'm not kidding. Let's do it. Let's go hit Disney.
I'm all in on that. I did that last time FinCon was there. It was awesome.